What is up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and monthly payments of $300 or more are beginning very soon. They are beginning starting July 15th. And over the last month, we've had some more information come out regarding this program. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what this new information is. I'm going to talk about what you need to do on your end to ensure that you get payment, and I'm going to go over every single thing that you need to know. So let's get started. Today is Child Tax Credit Awareness Day, and I'm not kidding. This is actually the day that the White House has dubbed today, Monday, June 21st. It is a day that they have dedicated to try to spread awareness as much as possible regarding the child tax credit, and I felt like I would play my part in trying to accomplish this. But the good news is that there has actually been some new information released regarding the child tax credit to help make sure that you or anybody you may know who may be watching this video can get the funds that they are owed. Now, what I would first like to do is just go over a brief summary of what the child tax credit actually is. That way, anybody who's watching this channel who may not have been aware of this program, you can get brought up to speed. So the child tax credit is a credit that was implemented with the American Rescue Plan, which was the stimulus package that we saw passed in March. This is a tax credit that is being distributed on behalf of dependents age 17 and under. Most commonly, it's for children, but it can also be given out in the context of like legal guardianship, of foster parents, and things like that. And basically, how this will work is if you are somebody that has a child, you could receive a pretty significant payment on behalf of that child. If you have a child that is 5 years old or younger, you could receive $3,600. If you have a child that is 6 or over up until 17, you could receive $3,000. And the way that you could be eligible for this is if you are an individual who has made $75,000 or less, a married couple filing jointly who has made $150,000 or less, or a head of household who has made $112,500 or less. If you fall under those three income brackets, then you could receive the full $3,600 or $3,000. But if you make more than those income brackets, you could still be eligible for payment, just not the full amount. And how the distribution of payment for the child tax credit is going to work is it's actually going to be split into two parts. So your payment is going to be divided in half, and you are going to receive half of that payment in the form of monthly payments between July 15th and December 15th, 2021. You will then receive the second half of that payment come tax season next April whenever you file your 2021 taxes. So in the example of having one child under the age of 5, you would receive $3,600 in total, half of which would be distributed on a monthly basis starting on July 15th, and you would receive $300 per month for 6 months. You would then receive the other half of that, $1,800, in the form of one lump sum payment next year in April. So now that we know what this tax credit is and we know roughly when to expect it, July 15th, now let's talk about what has recently been announced regarding this child tax credit. And we have some new information that has come out of the White House as well as out of the IRS that will be really valuable to those of you who are looking to claim this tax credit. Number one is the great thing about this child tax credit is the fact that you do not have to sign up for this. There is only one group of people that will have to actively do something and actively take a step in order to claim the child tax credit, and those are individuals who are non-filers. Now, I am going to go into non-filers in a minute, so stay tuned for that, but let me first touch on those of you who have filed your taxes. Now, if you are somebody who has filed your taxes in 2020, then you are automatically signed up for the child tax credit. There is no additional action that needs to be taken on your part in order to sign up for this program, which is excellent news. But there are a few things that you need to know. Number one is the fact that if you are somebody who has had a child in 2021, that child unfortunately will not be eligible for the monthly payments because of the fact that the IRS is basing the child tax credit off of your 2020 tax returns. And if you are somebody that has had a child in 2021, then that child is not claimed on your 2020 tax return. So as far as the IRS is concerned, that child doesn't exist. So you will not receive those monthly payments. But the good news is you will still receive that child tax credit payment. It will just come in 100% lump sum come next April 2022. So in this case, assuming that you are eligible for the full child tax credit, you would receive $3,600 on behalf of that newborn child next April. Secondly is the age of your child. So the age restriction is 17 or under. So if you have an 18-year-old child, in most cases, that child would not be eligible for the child tax credit. But the thing is that the birthday of that individual is very important. So the child has to be 17 on December 31st, 2021. If they were 18 on December 31st, 2021, then they would not be eligible. So let's say, for example, that right now in June of 2021, you have a 17-year-old son, but that son is turning 18 in October, then that son would not be eligible for the child tax credit, and thus you would not receive anything on their behalf. They have to be under 17 or 17 by the end of the year. They could not be turning 18 this year. And lastly, in regards to individuals that have filed your taxes, there is going to be an option for you to opt out of the monthly payments, but the portal to accomplish this and sign up for this option has not been released yet. So if you are somebody who would prefer to just have one lump sum payment next April, you can do that. You will simply have to opt in for that option once the IRS releases the portal to do so. So again, just to summarize, if you are somebody who has filed your taxes for the 2020 tax year, and if you're somebody that had a child that was born in that 2020 tax year or before, then you will not have to take any action to receive the child tax credit. You will automatically start receiving those monthly payments in July on behalf of that child, and you will not have to do anything else. All you'll really have to make sure is that the information that you gave the IRS is correct, which hopefully it is, and then you'll be good to go. But then that begs the question of what do you do if you're somebody that did not file your taxes? How can you opt in for the child tax credit if you didn't file your 2020 taxes? Well, the IRS has released a non-filers tool that should be used for individuals who did not make enough money in 2020 to justify paying taxes. If you are somebody who made $12,400 as a single person filing individually, if you made $24,800 as a married couple filing jointly, or if you're somebody that has made $18,650 as a head of household, if you are somebody who is in these three income brackets, then you are somebody that probably did not file your taxes, and thus you will need to use the newly released IRS non-filers tool in order to sign up for the child tax credit. Now, in order to use the IRS's non-filers tool, you will simply need to navigate to the IRS's website. Again, whenever you are dealing with anything with the IRS, make sure that it is irs.gov. There are so many scammers, so many shady websites out there that are trying to pose as government agencies in order to collect your information fraudulently. And you will want to make sure that whenever you go onto any sort of non-filers tool, that it has that .gov ending to the website before typing in anything. So you will want to go to the IRS's website. From there, you will have the option to click on the non-filers tool. From there, you will see a screen that says free file, and this is very similar to the non-filers tool that you may have filled out to get your stimulus check in the past. Once you do actually get to the non-filers tool from the IRS's website, the URL will be freefilefillableforms.com. That is the proper URL, so if you see that on your URL box, then you are in the right place. But then once you go there, you will simply click get started, and then you will follow the prompts from there. It is very easy. It is very straightforward. You will need to have your social security number, your name, your date of birth, and also a reliable address. In order to fill out the non-filers form accurately and effectively, you will need a few pieces of information. You will need your social security number, you will need a good email address, you will need a reliable mailing address. Now, the thing about the child tax credit, unlike some of the past stimulus checks that we've seen this past year, is that with the child tax credit, you do not need to have an address that belongs to you. So if you are somebody that is moving around a lot, if you're somebody that may not be living in the same place in a year as you are currently in present day, then you don't have to use your own address. You could use the address of a trusted loved one, so a friend, a family member, whatever the case is. It just needs to be a reliable address, but whose address it is irrelevant. And lastly, you will also need some bank account information. Now, this is super, super important because as of right now, the IRS has announced that they are only going to be distributing the child tax credit via direct deposit or paper checks. They're not going to do any of the kind of debit card payments that they were doing before. So you will want to make sure that you have given them bank account information. And if you don't have a bank account, I would encourage you to open one. But if you are unable to open one for whatever reason, make sure that you do have that reliable address provided. But it is extremely, extremely encouraged to get that bank account information. Make sure it is 100% accurate, and you will need to provide that to the IRS. And then once you fill out the non-filer form, you're done. It's pretty easy from there. All you have to do is make sure that all of your information is accurate, and then you submit the non-filer form and you are good to go. Now again, this is just one of the 2 portals that are going to be released on behalf of the child tax credit. The second portal is going to be that portal to opt out of the monthly payments and instead opt in for one lump sum payment come next April. But for the most part, that is the entire process of how to sign up for the child tax credit. It is very streamlined, it is very easy, and as long as you are somebody that has a reliable mailing address or bank account information, then you will be good to go and you will be able to receive that child tax credit. With that being said, you guys, I hope that you found this video helpful, and I hope it gave you some insight into how you can claim this child tax credit. It is estimated to begin being distributed July 15th, so stay tuned for that. But like always, if you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.